So what's up, guys? This is Terrence, and I am in Iloilo. We received an award. Basically it's a advocacy recognition of advocacy for disaster management and emergencies. But here's the thing about awards. You have documents, and those documents represent what the city or the town did for in that time for disaster management. Because that's what the award is. You have to present those evidence as part of the documentation, as part of how you do things in your municipality. But that's not all the thing that there is in terms of proving the worth or proving the work in disaster management. In terms of Kalibo, we did a lot of things. Let's say emergency management and disaster management for Kalibo has been a success, and I'm going to share you the secrets. But it's not all about the documentation. It's not all about how we can prove it. It's easy to use documentation, but you have to prove it in real sense, in a real world, in a real scenario, and that's where it should bear fruit. Let me share you the secrets of emergency and disaster management of Kalibo. So one of the secrets for emergency and disaster management for Kalibo is using our own resources, using our own and developing our own technology. It has to be local. It has to be developed to suit our own needs, and that's what we did. What we did was make sure that everything has to be placed face by face. We don't have enough fund. We don't want to owe people anything. We don't want to owe people because they own part of the technology, or let's say part of the land that we use, or somebody has some stake in it. So what we did was make it our own. We didn't do it overnight. We developed it since 2012, and we are still continuing to develop it, and it's still developing. That's not just a tactical emergency operations center, but the whole system itself. So it's mated with local technology, systems, in terms of capacity development from the Office of Civil Defense, also from the Japan International Cooperation Agency, because we do have volunteers in our office. Number 2, develop capability and equip personnel. So what I'm talking about is to make sure that the personnel is trained in types of emergencies that will probably be present in the area. So most of the members of the MDRMO Kalibo's Special Operations Unit are either you've got emergency medical service guys, you have the urban search and rescue training. You also have the tactical emergency medical support, which is tactical medicine, and you also have the fire and rescue service. So all 4 of those services are present for the disaster management office. Now that means that you needed equipment, and Kalibo is not a big it's not a city. We don't have enough of the budget, but we can do face by face acquisition of equipment, and that's what we did. So for urban search and rescue, we started acquiring the equipment basically because those are expensive. You've got the extrication devices, you've got stabilization devices, cutters, spreaders, penetration devices, and those, including surveillances. You have the snake cams and stuff. Those are actually expensive, and we have to buy them on a face-by-face scenario. Now, in terms of emergency medical service, it's pretty much standard. You have the basic kit for basic trauma life support, and the basic life support. In terms of fire and rescue service, we did acquire some of that. Some of the equipment that we gathered are the bunker suits, and we started acquiring the self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA. Now, one of the more complicated ones is tactical medicine, and for the tactical emergency medical support, we do have to not acquire but borrow some of the equipment. We have level 3 and level 4 body armors for tactical operations, and sometimes police, or sometimes not just the police, but during operations that involve the major event security framework, or we have to escort to be part of the escort of the police in handling VIPs. I have to get my guys prepared, and that's one of the things that we also made sure. So my guys are equipped with level 3 body armors, or level 4 body armors, which were a bit higher, a bit heavier, but they're also better. So that's just part of it, and let me show you what I'm talking about. In terms of training, by the way, in terms of training, we did connect training. We did do some of the simulation, and let me show you. So number 3, it's engaging the community. So what I'm talking about is that you have to go out there, you have to go to the community, you have to talk to officials in the local level, such as barangay officials, NGOs in the barangay level. And there's not many of those, but there are a few, and you have to talk to them. You have to be able to gain their trust, gain their support, so that programs and projects of your office will be able to move. And that's number 3 of our secret. And let me show it to you. So number 4, wait, let me show you. Okay, so it's, I'm not sure if you saw that, but I've got number 4, and that's get out of the box and go over the fence. And I'm using this one because I have to write it down. It's a bit. So number 1, get foreign volunteers and incorporate best practices from other countries. That's one of it. Second is to look beyond the checklist of Gawad Kalasag and Seal of Good Local Governance, or any other awards. Yeah, if you can't meet the checklist due to, let's say, budget or capacity constraints, look for other alternative. And another one is do not limit the capability of your office from what was required, but from what else you can do. So basically that's 3 things for number 4. So, last, and this is number 5. Let's just think it over. What else is needed? So, I guess it's good leadership and management. That means that you have combined both leadership and management. Leadership, in a sense, is different from management, and management will be different from leadership. Now, if you look at the basic context of leadership and management, it's actually this way. You may have a good leader, but you will not have a good manager. Or you may be a good manager, but you can't be a good leader. But you can combine both. And they have this term like transformational leadership, developmental leadership, and all that stuff. You know, the basic thing is you combine both and it will work out for you. Leadership pertains mainly to leading people. Management is basically how to use resources, whether it is people or it's not people, then equipment, gear, the facilities in your office, the system that you are managing. In this case, the whole of Kalibo. So how do you manage and lead that? So that's the key to that. So it started with Mayor William Lachica, and by giving me carte blanche in how to run the systems in the office, and taking my experience and taking what I know. Our second leader would be Mayor Emerson Lachica, right here. So he has the same idea. He has the same management style, and he knew that he has leaders down in on the lower level. He's got department heads, he's got division chiefs, and he knows how to let them work on their own, and he knew that it will produce results. So that's how it works. Let me show you some of the B-rolls of our accomplishment.